clock has struck 2. So if you haven't already, say hello in the chat box, and also tell me, why are you here today? I'd love to know, because clearly something has motivated you to book onto this session today. Is it because you are just fed up with the dreaded spreadsheet that you're using to manage your practice and deadlines at the moment? Is it because perhaps you are using a practice management solution and it's not quite ticking the boxes for you, and you still find yourself using spreadsheets and other things to fill in those gaps where they exist? Is it just out of curiosity? You are using one practice management solution, but you're hearing good things about the other. And like most of us, we all suffer from FOMO. We don't want to miss out on the shiny new object, on what everyone else is raving about. Is that why you're here? Let me know in the chat box. Why are you here today? What are you hoping to achieve from today's session? I would love to know. Right, okay, so I'll just go through the chat box. Thank you, panelists, for patiently waiting whilst we let everyone join in at today's session. Hello there, Sue from humid Watford, and Sue wants to hear about other practice management software, using one right now, but not fully into it. Where have I heard that before? Okay, Elizabeth is brand new. Hello there, need a new solution that can grow with me? Well, you're in the right place. Ashley, I know you're not an accountant, but you talk to accountants and love recommending great tools. So really interested to hear what the panelists have to say. Good. So if you've just joined, say hello, tell me why you're here, what is the reason you have registered for this session, and what are you hoping to achieve from it? I would love to know. Bambi, you're saying you love AM, but want to be able to look forward at work falling through the year, but in a different way. Good. Karthik is to find out which one is for me. Excellent. Okay. All right. So introduction-wise, Paul from Ireland looking to select new practice management system. Okay, so I think everyone is joining thick and fast. If you just joined, let me know who you are, say hello, where you're from, and what you hope to gain from today's session. So in terms of how this session is going to go, what's going to happen is each of the 4 providers that we have here today that have kindly taken the time out to join this session are going to give a brief introduction about their product, a very short 8-minute demo about the best features, the things that their customers rave about most, and what they believe their unique selling point is. After that, we will go into an open Q&A. So you'll have the chance to ask any questions of any of the 4 providers that have given a demo. I also have a few questions to ask as well, so I'll be firing them at our panelists today as well. So this is your session. Do get involved. The more you ask questions, the more you interact in the chat box. Feel free to use the chat box to interact with others, to ask about what others are doing, and use the Q&A for any specific questions you want me to ask the panelists, and I will put it to them. So what I'm going to begin with is a poll. Okay, so get ready for this, guys. I'm going to launch a poll right now. So you should see a poll which says, what do you currently use for practice management? So kindly push the button to signal what you currently use. Is it nothing? Is it spreadsheets? Is it one of the 4 providers we have today? Is it a couple of the others who are not here today? Is it something else? And if it is, name it in the chat box. So who has just joined? Hello there, Abbas. Can't make a decision for me. Is it AM or center? Well, let's see whether today's session can help. Tried AM, yet to try center. Hello there, Ian from Shrewsbury, looking to change PM software. Interesting. No, well, this is a great place to be. Hello there, Ellie, sorry. Good to see you here. And I know you were looking forward to this one because you are in the market for a solution. So hopefully after today, you will be closer to making a decision. Richard is here, who uses Zoho. Jeff, hello there, Jeffrey. You're using Iris at the moment. Excellent. Ellie is using spreadsheets and Google Sheets. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I think most of you have voted. I will end the polling now. If you've just joined, you can see a poll on the screen. Push the button, 5 seconds to go, and then I will turn off the poll and share the results. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the polling, share results. Okay, so what do we have? So 27% of you are not using anything. So large majority of people here, of the audience here, over 50%, I make that, are using either nothing or spreadsheets. There are no other users of anything apart from Accountancy Manager. How interesting. Okay, Fantastic. That's very good intelligence, I'm sure, for us or for the panelists, I'm sure, in terms of how they are going to, I guess, demo their particular products. Okay, let's stop the share results. Okay, and get cracking. Right, so first up in today's session is, we're going to go in alphabetical order. So there is, that is the only way I have chosen who to go first. So without further ado, and I can be quiet now, accountancy manager represented by Jonathan Stobart and his trusted colleague Rachel. Over to you to talk about AM for the next 8 minutes.
Thanks, Grevza, and thanks very much for everyone to join us on the session today. So obviously we've got a bit of a time restraint, so Rachel and I were trying to decide the best way to demo the platform today. So we've decided to go for a video, to be honest with you. It's a 6-minute video, and I'm going to narrate over the top of it. And the reason being, we just feel like this video kind of shows off all of our functionality, and obviously we can expand on that in the questions that come afterwards. So what is Accountancy Manager all about? We're all about obviously saving our users time, and this starts right from the beginning when you start onboarding clients onto the system. If you wanted to onboard a new client, we've got an integration with Companies House, so that when you're adding new clients, just search it, and it brings up obviously list of all the possible companies and the directors associated with that company, and then it will start pre-populating the client file for you. So obviously you can see that some of the details are being sucked in automatically, and we're going to cover a lot of different features and functionality at the moment, but it's all about saving time. It's all about stopping you from having to enter things in manually. What can we automate? What can Accountancy Manager do for you? You can see obviously the deadlines being pulled through, the filing deadlines through from Companies House. That's important because it's going to start populating the self-generating task list, which we're going to come on to shortly. At this stage of the process, this is still a prospect, so you can start to build up a proposal here, and you can start saying what fees and services we want to be quoting for, so you can pop them in there, what fees. And again, another important aspect here is that we're going to start allocating the staff tasks, because that's going to start also populating some members of staff's task lists for you. So you can create custom workflows within the system, so you can break down tasks into subtasks if you want to, which then can of course be allocated to different members of staff. In this instance, both Lauren and John. So that's what we're saying about we're onboarding clients quickly. So you get to a stage where you've put the client's details into the system. You now want to send out a proposal to them. Using the inbuilt templates within the system, you can send out the proposal. You can obviously choose, you can, all of the templates, there's absolutely loads of templates within Accountancy Manager, and they're all customizable to be able to change to your wording. Then you can send it over to the client. This is what the client will then receive. Okay, so I've got an email. Yep. Okay, so I've got the services, got the fees that was selected early on. Do I want to go ahead? Yeah, I do. All they need to do is click the button within the email, and they get presented with your list of engagement again, which is completely customizable. The client obviously has a look at them, agrees to them, puts their name into e-sign, and then they get automatically entered into a client portal. They go into the client portal, they can start popping in some of their business details. Again, this eliminates you from having to chase your clients for this sort of detail. This is the sort of stuff that just makes the onboarding process admin heavy, to be honest with you. So why not give the client the opportunity to give you the details? Previous accountant's a great one, because it's then Accountancy Manager will automatically do your professional clearance for you, and automatically send out professional clearance requests until you mark it as that you've received all the right information. So from your side, once the prospector signs letter of engagement, you get a notification. So there's lots of notifications that go within the system, internal, and from when clients also react to something within the system as well. So in this instance, we've been told that the client has signed the letter of engagement. We can either then archive that notification or create a task or forward it onto somebody else. Again, it's linking in with the task list. Okay, so again here we've got notification tells us what's going on. Self-generating task list. So as I said previously, when you're setting up clients, obviously it's pulling through the Company House deadlines. The deadlines are what then get pulled through into the self-generating task lists. You can also actually add in target dates to task lists as well, so you don't have to work to deadlines. We find that a lot of our users like to add target dates into tasks. You can of course filter the task list in a variety of different ways to get updated about where we are with jobs. They can again the system will flag to you if there's something essential missing, like for instance, in this instance, company's house authorization codes. And should you again get that information it needs, you can update the client file, update the task lists, and reorders accordingly. So again, if you wanted to break down tasks, obviously we looked at it a little bit earlier, obviously when we was onboarding the client, but this is where AM is completely customizable. You can set up new tasks, you can allocate them to the right members of staff. And all interactions with clients are recorded on the client timeline. So if the client is signing a document, or if you sent an email to a client, that's all recorded on the client timeline. If you send a text message to them, it's all recorded there. I suppose you don't ever want to have the situation where you have to refer back to provide proof that you've definitely sent it. Dear Mr. Client, I did tell you to pay your tax. Actually, yes, there is an email recorded on the client timeline here to give you that. Automation is a huge aspect of accountancy manager. We can set accountancy manager up to automatically chase a variety of different aspects of running the accountancy practice. In this instance, we're looking at automatic record requests. No longer does a human actually have to sit there and write, please, Mr. Client, send me your books and records for your year end. Using the automation settings within accountancy manager and the templates that are completely customizable, you can get accounts manager to chase that for you. Again, it's all about saving your time. And another example I touched on there was, of course, the professional clearance. So AM will flag to you any details that are essential and are missing. Again, you can chase clients for that, and we can request 64.8s and keep those in accountancy manager, so you've always got a record of all the important details that you might need in order to be able to conduct the client's affairs. So obviously we can record time within accountancy manager, and obviously record fees as well, so that helps you recording your profitability aspect. So you can start to have a look at see which clients are your most or least profitable. And of course you can also start having a look at tracking time for obviously for members of staff. They can actually also pause their time logs when they're posting their time, and we can see as business owners who is posting time in the live view, and it's something that we get a lot of feedback from users that they quite like to see who's working on what job and who's in this instance not working. So I spoke about notifications earlier. So we've got internal notifications. It's a great way to keep obviously other members of staff updated with clients, but also just to keep them informed what's going on. Or maybe in this instance we want to send them an urgent notification just to come have a meeting. Obviously urgent notifications appear as a big red bar at the top of the accountancy manager. It's just trying to do I suppose collate all your internal communication. We have the ability to provide AML and risk assessments within the system. The AML checks are obviously done on a credit basis, and the credit start when brought in bulk at 125. So the client list obviously you can keep all your, So you can keep all your client details obviously within the accountancy manager, and one of the big benefits of the client list is that you can then use it for mass email and text message functionality, so you can automatically email all your clients according to whatever filters that you then put on. So obviously we've got, you can record obviously your work in progress and your invoices within the system as well. And here's an example of how we're putting together an invoice within Accountancy Manager. I already mentioned that we've got e-signing and a secure client portal. The client portal is now, can be fully customized with your own branding, with something that we've recently launched, the new white label client portal, and it's been going down very well with existing users. Custom forms, again, this is just, we recognize that you might want to ask your question, your client, something that we haven't provided a form for within the system, so we give you the ability to be able to ask it yourselves. In this instance, we're asking a specific question about earnings, obviously related to self-assessment tax returns, and all these questions, all the fields that obviously for the answers that we're going to get back are all completely customizable, and you can then send that on to clients. So what I would say about Accountancy Manager, it's truly out of the box solution for accountants. Obviously, as I keep saying, everything's customizable. It's all GDPR compliant as well, which is obviously massively important. And we really do generally believe that obviously practice management solution is the foundation of your practice, and we believe that AM can of course be that for you. So I suppose that is kind of my run through. I think it's been 6-7 minutes, maybe, Reza.
You're just over the 8, but I saw your your
okay.
video coming to the end, so I thought I'll give you an extra
Thank you.
20 seconds
Appreciate it.
off. But
I'll try to talk really quickly to get through it all.
you were at kind of double speed there. So well done,
yeah.
John, for getting all that in. Lots of content shared. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, John. A very quick and in-depth preview of the product. Thank you very much for sharing that, John. Now, what I'm happy to do, if there's any specific questions for the solution that you have just seen, the demonstration to the solution you have just seen, if you put them in whilst the demo is going on, I'm happy for those questions to be dealt with straight after, so they are fresh in mind for both the person asking, and for John to answer. So there's only one that came in for accountancy manager. I'm happy for you, John, to quickly take that one. It should be an easy one. Does it integrate with Companies Registration Office in Republic of Ireland as it does with Companies House in the UK?
It does indeed. Yes, that's simple. Yes.
Good. There you go. That was from anonymous attendees. Hopefully that's answered your question. Thank you. I don't think the next one is a very specific one. Ali's saying it's a general question for all. Let me see if that is worthy of. Oh, here's an AM question. Does AM have the DD functionality?
Rachel, do you want to pick that one up?
I'm not sure what's meant by DD. Is that direct debit or?
Direct debit, I believe, yeah.
It is, yeah, not at present, but it is something we'll be looking to add at some point.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, I think I'll ask this one from Ellie. Ellie is asking, we work with small businesses, 95% of whose owners have more than one business with us, but they often only have a single email address. How does your PM solution deal with logging emails from this client in the system so that every email from that client isn't linked with every business? Some clients have 8+ businesses. I know that is a common question asked by many.
That one for me, John? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you pick that one up. That's okay.
Yes, at present it would add it to the timeline for every business that person is associated with. But we agree that it's not great to have an audit trail with all different companies on. So we are looking later this year at implementing a solution for that will allow you to filter it so that relevant emails are going on relevant timelines.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, John and Rachel. Okay, before we go on to the next one, to Onco, represented by Imana here, I'm going to do another poll. And this poll is, what size is your firm? Excuse a little typo in the message here, just to get a feel of who is here and the size of your practice. Is it just you? Is it, or are you kind of in those employee brackets? So 1 to 2 employees up to more than 15 employees. Let me know. I'll give another 10-15 seconds before I wrap up the poll. 60% of you have voted. Another 40% of you need to vote before I close it. I'm not going to wait for everyone. I'll close it in the next 5 seconds. So if you're doing something else, come back now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm ending the polling. I'm sharing the results. Okay. So 28%, maybe a third of you are solo practitioners. So it's just you. There's about 22% with 1 or 2 employees. And then the rest, the other 50%, are between 3 and 15 employees. Okay, interesting. I guess clearly the larger you get, the more need there is for a systemized solution that can work across your practice. So that is, I'm sure, good to know for everyone. I'm going to stop the share results. Somebody is just joining us again from Center. Do you know who that would be? Alice and Jasmine? Okay, fair enough. I think the only person it could be is Elizabeth, because that's the only person who received an invite at the beginning. So maybe she's using that email. No worries. We'll crack on. Okay, Imana, over to you, my friend. Your 8 minutes starts. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to put a timer on so you hear it as well. And the timer will go off after 7 minutes. So you still have about a minute to wrap up. So I'll start it when you start talking. So over to you, Imana.
Myself. Right. Okay. And I've got my timer going here. Thanks so much, Reza. Look, my name's Imana. I'm one of the founders here at Onco. And for my sins, actually, I'm an accountant and a technologist. And my wife and I, we run a business practice in South London. And you could argue that Onco is my gift to my wife. Make of that what you will. So look at Onco. Reza was asking about differentiators, right? So and about the best features that our clients love and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm going to talk about, because at Onco we don't build features. What we actually build is capabilities. So the way to think about capabilities is it's a bunch of things that you can do in Onco, and you can combine those things to solve business problems or challenges. And what I'm actually going to do today is actually focus on a particular, what I think is a timely business challenge, which is, kind of getting your tax returns done by by whatever deadline you want to set. I will tell you that over here at the Rahman family, we get all our tax returns done by the 1st of December every single year, because we like a lazy, hazy Christmas. And this year we're upping the ante. So this year we're actually going to go for 1st of November. So turning to the screen, because after all, it is a demo. You see rather sparse space, doesn't it? I mean, this is all very gray. This is the Onco dashboard, and it looks very sparse. Why is it sparse? It's because it's customizable. So one of the things that we figured out, in amongst Onco users, is that actually no two accountancy practices run in exactly the same way. No two people in an accountancy practice actually want to see the same thing. If you're the owner of the business, you care about all the overdue work. If you're the payroll guy, you know what? I only care about overdue payroll. I don't care about anything else. So one of the things, one of the driving values in the design of Onco is getting people laser focus on the things that they're interested in. And it starts with the idea of this customizable dashboard. So here, look, I can unlock this dashboard. I can kind of move stuff around. I can add other widgets to it. This is kind of my default dashboard that I've created for the purposes of this demo. I can see my fundamental controls, that I've got no overdue jobs. I've got 11 unassigned jobs. How did I create these widgets? These widgets are all based on our Insights engine. So our Insights engine is a very, very powerful reporting engine, which I'm going to show you shortly. And pretty much, like all reports, you can define the report that you want to see any which way that you want based on certain criteria. And then once you've created that report, you can slap a widget on your dashboard, which gives you a count. So here, these widgets are all based on jobs. So I can see that I've got 7 jobs due in the next 30 days. I can see that I've got 10 jobs due in the next 60 days. Hey, you may not be interested in 60 days. You might be interested in 90 because your planning window is that much far forward. If it is, go create that report and slap it on your dashboard. One of the things we introduced just recently actually is the idea of multiple dashboards, and that's what I'm going to show you. So here, in addition to creating my own dashboard, by the way, I can share it with other team members. I can make copies of it. I can rename it, so on and so forth. As I create my own dashboards, I can access them from here from the menu. So I've got this at-a-glance dashboard that I have. I've got a communication one. It's quite an interesting one, by the way. So I can see all of the emails that my team have snoozed and how many they are, just so that they can't get away with it. But I have created a dashboard for my taxathon. So look, this is the dashboard that I created for my taxathon. What am I actually seeing here? I am seeing a snapshot of my performance with my tax return target. I can see that I've got 35 jobs, 35 tax returns to do. I've got 23 that I can't do, and that's more likely because I haven't got the papers that I need. I've got 7 that I can do, so I can allocate those to people, and I've got 5 that I've already done. How is this useful to me? When I want to focus on the tax returns, I just switch to this dashboard that I've created, and I can see immediately exactly where I am. However, let's go and have a look at the stuff that I can't do. So every time I create a widget, it will launch the insight for me. So this is your first look at our insight. So the insight, like I said, it's kind of a report writer. It's driven off filters. These filters can be as complex as you want them to be. Here, what I've done is I've tried to identify all of the tax returns, which I actually can't do. How have I done that? I've set up some basic criteria. So look, we're all Excel junkies, right? So we all know how to do right filters, and this is exactly the same. So if you look at my criteria here, I'm looking for stuff which is due in the current tax year. So let's just be clear about this. Anything which is due 31st of January 2022, it's going to fall in the current tax year. One of the beauty of using this kind of criteria, of course, is as soon as we roll over into the next tax year, guess what? This report is just going to get updated in real time. Don't have to change anything. I've asked for all of those jobs where my requirements are not complete. That means that the prerequisites for me to do the work have not been met. I've filtered this for all the personal tax returns. And I'm only interested in the ones which are not completed. So there's a concept that we use a lot in Onco, which is management by exception. Because let's be honest, once you've done a piece of work, do you really care about it anymore? No more. Let's focus on the things that we actually need to focus on. So this is my my list of jobs that I can't do. I can export it to Excel. I can do a whole bunch of stuff from here. But what's more interesting is what I can do now that I've got this insight up. And here I'm going to introduce you to the concept of intelligent shortcuts. So intelligent shortcuts in Onco are the idea, and it's based on my stalking my wife's office. I haven't been arrested yet, but it is true that I do this. One of the things I noticed, and some of you will recognize this, is that accountants are actually always multitasking. You know the classic thing, you're doing the monthly bookkeeping, you spot some kind of anomaly, and you kind of need to tell somebody, right, that's something that they need to look out for, maybe alert the annual accounts team. How do you go about doing that? You're switching context. The intelligent shortcut in Onco is the idea that you should be able to do a bunch of things with something that's really important wherever you see it in the system. So this intelligent shortcut for jobs, you will see this wherever you see a job in Onco. Could be in a report, could be in a client screen, could be in an email, wherever you see it. And I can do a bunch of stuff here. I can pause the job. I could mark it as complete. In fact, what I'm actually going to do here is say that actually I've had that requirement in. And in fact, I'm going to cheat and show you very quickly some cool bulk actions. I'm actually going to say that these tax returns here, all my requirements are actually complete. What's the advantage of doing that? Of course, as this completes, based on my filters, of course, my numbers and my metrics are always being updated. And for the eagle-eyed mathematicians amongst you, I'm sure you can see that 16 plus 14 plus 5 equals 35. So what else can I do from here? I can actually work from the screen, because not only do I have access to this shortcut, I also have access to the conversation about this job. Now, let me explain what a conversation is. Imagine you had a bucket that you were talking to your client about something, in this case, the personal tax returns for Raymond Clay, which is due 31st of January 2022, and you wanted to track everything that you wanted to do on that particular job. This is where you would do it. You can add a note, send an email, send an SMS. One interesting thing about sending email from here, by the way, when the client replies, it will also come back into this job. So look, I've got my own timer here, and I can see I've got like 40 seconds, so I'm going to summarize something really quickly. You know what we just did? I built a report. I slapped a widget on a dashboard. From that dashboard, I get access to my report. Most Onco users have insights which are open all day long, and they can actually do their work from here, both on a bulk basis and on an individual basis, exactly as I'm showing you, which means that my users have just created their own personalized, laser-focused practice management solution. That's me. I got 10 seconds to go, man. That's pretty good.
Well done, and thank you for keeping to time, Amana. Fantastic.
I got a big timer going here.
Good. Yeah, I had mine on silent, so it didn't quite beep when your time ran out. But I have corrected that now, henceforth. Okay, fantastic. That was a great overview of Onco. I like the whole dashboard feel to it, only seeing what you need to see. Mm-hmm. Any specific questions for Onco, feel free to put them in the Q&A. There isn't any that have arisen whilst you were talking, Amano, but there is a question that Eddie would like me to pose to all of them, the same question that was posed to Accountancy Manager. So that one about the single email address where multiple businesses, how does Onco deal with that? So,
without going, actually, I'm going to go into detail on this question, right? So here's the thing. Software should reflect reality. That's kind of an abiding principle of mine. Software should reflect reality. In an accountancy business, this situation where you have a client that is responsible for multiple businesses is very, very common. So from day one, we've always had a solution to this. The idea in Onco is, if people remember back to the old kind of tax systems and accounting systems that they used, normally you create a client and then you create a bunch of contacts, right? And this is not a reflection of reality, because that contact might be actually attached to multiple businesses. In Onco, all contacts are the same. They're all the same. And what you can do, so if I pull up an example here, everybody in Onco is a contact. Some contacts are actually clients. And what I'm able to do is the following. I can create connections between this client and other contacts. It could be a director, shareholder, somebody who refers you business. That's a good one, right? Wouldn't it be cool to be able to know which clients were referred to you by who? And then what we have is this option here that when you look at the feed, right, you can choose to look at. So if I take a specific example, sole trader connected to 3 limited companies. I can choose to make that sole trader the default contact for all of those 3 limited companies. What that means now is whenever I email, right, it's always going to go to that sole trader. The sole trader, when they respond, it will always come back into their feed. But when I go to the limited company, I can choose to say, show me the connected feeds. So now what's happening is that the email address is being recorded once, the email is being recorded once, but you can see that in all of the connected feeds. So that's how we address that, and we've addressed that from day one. Because as I say, software should reflect reality, and that is a reality. I hope that wasn't too complex an answer.
No, absolutely. I think the fact that you can display it obviously helps. So no, thank you. That shows that you have a solution for a common problem. So thanks very much for that, Imana.
Good.
And hopefully that answered your question, Ellie, on that. Right. Okay. Up next, we have Pixie. So Celso from Pixie, your time starts when you start. So over to you for your 8-minute demo.
I'm going to start with a technical problem, which is I can't share while someone else is sharing. Can I please start sharing?
Imana, do you mind just...
There we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Celso. I'm the founder here at Pixie. Thanks, Reza, for the opportunity to join the community and show Pixie. There we go. All right, good stuff. So actually, I want to start not by showing you products. Very tough act to follow, but rather start with everything that we can offer you. Based on the results from the survey earlier, I understand that most of the audience today is small practices, which is the sweet spot for Pixie, really. I would then definitely challenge everyone to go on our website, usepixie.com, hit the start free trial. You can start that right now and then follow doing things as I do them on the demo as well. A few other things that you might notice on the website is the education. Have a look at the Small Firms Hub. There's a lot of stuff in here that can help you feel that you're getting things a bit more under control. Again, all free. Another thing that I would invite you to do is have a look at the workflow templates. Here in Pixie, you know what? We're super fortunate. We're new kids on the block, but we have customers all over the world already. Now, one thing that you might notice is a lot of our customers and a lot of our community are really coming together to help ensure that you can hit the ground running with a practice management app. We know how hard everyone kind of struggles to stay organized, and that's primarily the reason why you're here today. And having spoken with thousands of practice owners at this point, I understand that how challenging it is to do the work, to manage the client, and to be fair, to keep track of about 800, 700 deadlines a year. It's a lot to take on. It's very easy for things to fall through the cracks. Obviously, the last thing you want is to let yet another thing fall through the cracks. You sign up for a practice management app, and then it's so complex to set it up that you don't go anywhere with it. So hopefully these templates will help you do exactly that. There are a few here that I would absolutely recommend to anyone, regardless of the size of the practice. James Jasper's sales system is absolutely stellar. And we have a few others like Reza's payroll workflow. Have a look into that as well, because all of these things are tuned to literally help you hit the ground running with Pixie as soon as you start your trial. So that's it. Usually how everyone starts their day here at Pixie is by checking their email inbox. Pixie connects with Office 365 and with Gmail as well. And by doing that, email coming in and out of Pixie, email coming in and out of your email account will get logged into Pixie. You don't have to use Pixie's email if you don't want to. It'll carry on logging the email into the client's records. However, there are some advantages to doing so. The first one is this. So your email is automatically triaged for you, and all the communications coming in from the clients will be prioritized and sitting on the priority inbox. Now, this filters out all the vendor communication like us and stuff like that, pushes that all to the other inbox, and allows you to focus on your customers. Another question that I noticed coming up a few times is, I'm already preempting this one, which is how does Pixie handle multiple clients with the same email address? It doesn't. Okay. The important thing and the important principle for Pixie really is to ensure that you have the information in the place where you need it to find. We don't try to make any assumptions about how you want to work and things like that. What you can do is something like this. If you see the associated clients here on the message, and you don't want to log something into a client, you want to log it into the other limited company, and tick the box, and that's that. That's the end of the conversation right there. Now, this is the client that's asking about an R&D tax claim. So let's go ahead, create a task for this. Archive the email, inbox 0. This is something that very few people are able to do just by using Outlook. And a lot of our customers are able to do by using Pixie. So I would absolutely invite you to, again, start your free trial, connecting your Outlook inbox, and give it a go at using the triage system. So what the next step for this is to go into the to-do list. The to-do list, you'll notice, is a collection of tasks that I have here for me. These are due today. Another basic principle of Pixie, going back to my initial point, is that you have to manage about 800 deadlines a year. It does no one any good if you have to manage those 800 deadlines. So Pixie is more focused on the present and on the things that you have coming today. You can also see what's coming up this week, what's coming up this month, but the default view, again, is to ensure that you're on top of things that are due to be delivered today. You can hop into any of these tasks and see what you need to do next. Everything is based on processes, i.e. the templates I was alluding earlier. You have plenty of these templates that come built into Pixie right away as soon as you sign up. Some of them have really clever automations like this one that will write to your client on your behalf. So it doesn't come from a funny email address or anything like that. On your behalf, asking them to provide documentation ahead of the deadlines. And then it's just a matter of following the checklist to get the job done. And another positive effect of this is that you will always know where things have been left off. So as you keep juggling multiple things, it's very easy to lose track of what's been done and what hasn't. And Pixie, it's very easy to pick up and see that the next thing for me here is to process the bookkeeping. I'm not a bookkeeper, but I will admit that if I had to follow this checklist, I think I could do a fairly decent job. Another thing that I wanted to show you super quick is the auto email. As you'll see, there's a link in there. This link allows clients to go into your document portal in Pixie. One thing that you'll immediately see is that I didn't have to log into anything. And I keep getting this complaint time and time again, which is customers just abandoning document portals and client portals because they can't remember the password and it's cumbersome. And as such, you end up receiving documents via email, which is not ideal. So hopefully with this, your clients will be able to click the link, upload the files in a secure manner. And these files are going to end up exactly where you expect them to be, which is in the task itself, easy to find, easy to delegate, and everything goes to one of your team members as a package, and they'll have access to all of these things. Lastly, to onboard the client, you can do that by company's house, UK only for now. We go and say, use Pixie right here. Add the client, pulls down all the key details from company's house. After the client, have the managing director client contact in there as well. And then I'll go ahead and plan the rest of the year's worth of work for this client as you do the onboarding. I'm doing this manually, but you can also do this automatically via Zapier, which is a very popular workflow. Now, this gives you the ability to pick the best of breed in terms of solutions. Obviously, everyone dreams of having an all-in-one that works for everything. The reality is that we don't see that happening. Lots of folks are using other practice management and paying for practice ignition or Go Proposal. So in Pixie's case, you pay for the things that you're actually using. And I'll go ahead and click on confirmation statement here. Payroll, VAT, and year-end accounts. And some of these things will get scheduled automatically for me based on the dates from company's house. Others are already set up based on the dates on the workflows. You can customize this on a per client basis. And doing this frees you up from having to think about this client and these tasks ever again. So come these dates, the tasks are created, added to the to-do list, and you'll know exactly what you need to do without having to keep any separate reminders. So what I'll do now is, if you have any questions, send them off, because I'm going to stop my demo and dedicate the rest of the time to answering any questions that may have come up.
Thank you very much, Celso. You are out of time, so you have used up your time allocation. But if there is one specific question, so that's fine. You can still take specific questions that came in for you. That's not a problem at all. There is, I believe, you answered Eddie's question, which was for everyone around the contacts for multiple businesses. Sue has a specific question for Pixie. Does Pixie provide letters of engagement?
No, we do not. We work very closely with the products that do, like Practice Ignition and Go Proposal. I can definitely recommend them both. And from there, you should be able to get everything started in Pixie as soon as the client accepts the proposal and the letter of engagement as well.
Okay, I think a follow-up question from Gary on the same sort of thing. I'm aware that Center and Carbon integrate with Go Proposal. Does Pixie aim to offer this plan feature in the future?
Yep.
Yep, I think you just mentioned that. Good. Thank you very much, Celso, for that overview of the product from the new kid on the block, as you quite aptly described yourself. So thank you very much, Celso, for that. And I hope you found that useful. Right, next up is, last but not least, Center. So over to you. Far away, Alice.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alice. I'm from the support team at Center. I'm just starting my timer so I can keep track. And I should probably share my screen as well. That would be helpful. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm just going to take you through a demo of the key areas in Center today. So we'll have a little look at the dashboard, the clients area, where you can view your live work, the client portal, and also we'll have a look at some of the integrations as well that are available. So we have our dashboard in Center, which is like the home page of the workspace. And this contains lots of different widgets that provide insight into your client data and your workflow data as well as some other handy tools. You can also move things around, remove widgets, add widgets as well, and then save this. And it is customizable per user as well. So you can have a different dashboard across your practice. And then moving on to clients then. So we have our clients list. We'll zoom in a bit just in case any of you are on smaller screens. So this is just showing all of my clients in Center, so my 33 clients. And all I'm doing it here at the moment is just showing some sort of basic information such as, business area, telephone number, services. But all of our client records, so, Alice Gosling, Concave Stone, Deborah, all of our client records are built upon lots of different form fields that you store your data in. So wherever you have a form field, you can have a column, which you can add over here. And once you have those columns, you can filter and sort. So if I wanted to filter, say, to just my bookkeeping clients, I could filter to them and then save them as well. So I've got a list of some sort of different views here, so I can just jump straight to them if I need to. You can also perform bulk actions from the client list. So a really popular one is sending an email. So if I go through to here, this is where I can write the body of my email, and I can use something called placeholders as well. So these reference specific fields in Center, so I can be nice and flexible with my email, sending to lots of different clients. I won't today because they're all fake email addresses. So we can actually have a look at a client record. So for example, Evelyn Moore, she's one of my prospects. So I've just got some basic information here showing for Evelyn at the moment. If I select edit, I can see that there's actually some other fields that I can fill in. Some of these fields are fields that are in with the standard version of Center, but some of them, such as birthday reminder and all these different specialists and language, they're just fields I've added in. So Center is really customizable. So forms are one of those elements that you can really change and adapt to your needs. I'll just save that. We have our address tab. Contacts tab. So Evelyn is an individual, so we're only going to have one contact for her. However, if this was a company and we had multiple contacts we wanted stored, then we could add as many as we need to. And then making sure to include an email address and a mobile number if we want to send them emails or text messages. And then also, because you can integrate your email with Center, so this just means that when you send an email from Center, it comes from your email address. it also allows you to pull through all those historical emails between you and your clients. So you can see those there. And we will be soon bringing out an inbox feature this summer. So it will change slightly, give you more to work with. And then you can add notes as well to client records. So say if you're making notes of phone calls or meetings, you could do that here. And this just adds to our notes tab. And you can also pin them as well if you need to, for your colleagues to see that information. So I've just skipped over the work tab. The reason being is because I don't have any work showing there at the moment, but this is where the live work will show for the client. So if I change this state from prospect to client, Centre is actually going to kick off our automatic sort of onboarding job template, which is client take on. So if we go into here, this is our client take on job, and it has a number of tasks that we've sort of created in the template that we think that you need. Obviously, if you want to adapt this, you can change it to suit your needs. But one of the sort of helpful tasks we've added in is to add these services for the client. So this is where we can select those services. And most of these are the sort of out of the box versions that you can get started with straight away. Some of them are ones I've just added in and sort of been playing around with. But say, for example, we wanted to add VAT for this client. The purpose really of adding a service is one, so we can see what services our clients have, but also it allows us to set like a frequency. So, you know, payroll could be on a monthly frequency, it could be on a weekly frequency, VAT, like all of the different ones could be on various frequencies. So for example, VAT, this gives me a setup job where I can enter additional information such as the VAT number, registration date, but I've also got these mandatory fields. So this one is the one that's fundamental to our VAT return workflow. So say I'll just select monthly there and save that. We now have that stored against Evelyn Moore that she is on monthly VAT return. And again, this applies for any kind of service that you have in Centre. So you can see those have kicked off there for us. So we've got those jobs with our filing dates. So now we've got some work showing. I'll just show you that you can filter as well. So if you had lots of jobs showing, so I'm just having a look at my time. If you have lots of jobs showing, you can filter by the statuses and the jobs, the assignees. You can also kick off jobs ad hoc if you'd like. But this is where you would kind of go to look for that work for that one client. But if you wanted to have a look over the entire practice, then you would go to work in all jobs. So that's where you could see there. And that's when the filters really come in handy, because this is where you can filter, say, to your outstanding tax return jobs or something like that. And you can see that clearly there. And you can view that as a list, or you can view that as a board. So this is our production board. And the production board really just gives you more of a visual overview, and it allows you to move work along as well. And you can view that weekly, or you can view it monthly. And task list. Sorry, I was just distracted by my time. Not very good at keeping time on this. And then we've got our task list. So this then just takes a dive into our jobs. So this is giving us that granular detail. And from here is where you would go to look at your daily tasks, your weekly tasks. And it's also where you can in bulk cancel complete tasks, reassign them to a different user as well. So this is a really handy place. And from all of those views, the work, the jobs and the tasks, you can save views as well, just like with the client list, so they can save up here. So if we just go across back to a client record, I'm going to show you our client portal, which is used for sort of sending documents securely to clients and asking them to sign documents and fill in forms and things like that. So this is our documents tab. We can upload a document. I can see I've uploaded one here, viewable to Alice Gosling, the client, and I've requested a signature as well. So if I go into the client portal, you can see this is nice and simple. Just refresh the page. What you can do is you can go into things you must do, and that's where you can see the outstanding items. So I've got a document here to view and a document to sign as well, but you'd also be able to fill in forms from here as well and upload documents as well. And then you'll also see from here is we've got a couple of clients that we can switch between. And this is just because we have a contact for Alice, the individual, and then also she is listed on Focus Multimedia as a contact. So we've linked the two, and they've got the one set of login details. They don't have to remember two sets. They can just switch between. And then finally, I'll just show you the settings menu. So this is for administration users only. So configurations, where you can change, form templates, job templates, and then finally extras, where you can turn on the integrations. So just see that. So we have our integrations here. So company's house, adding from company's house, pulling in that relevant data. And then also with the really popular apps such as Xero, QuickBooks, Proposal, Practice Ignition, and various others. So yes, that is everything. I'm sorry, I realise I went over the time by like 30 seconds.
No worries. Thank you very much, Alice, for that. And you did well to get it all in within that. I know it's tough to condense everything for, you're probably used to doing 45-minute plus demos. So to get everything to 8 minutes, it's not easy. So hats off to all of you for managing to do that. I'm sure it's been helpful for the audience to give them a flavor and a teaser of your particular solutions. And clearly, if what you have demonstrated has caused some intrigue and people want to find out more, then by all means, I will put a poll on at the end if you want to hear from any of the providers that you heard from today, and they will get in touch with you to arrange a longer demo. Okay, any specific questions? Do put them in the Q&A box, and I will fire them to whoever you would like me to. But before that, I'd like to kind of maybe share something. I want to share my screen now, and something that kind of came up in one of the sessions I did with my mentoring community. We talked about how to systemize your firm so it can run without you. And I talked about the 7 core systems, as it were, of an efficiently running firm. Now, when we say practice management solution, it's such a wide-ranging term. And practice management has so many different elements and facets within it. And the products out there, solutions out there that you have all very ably demonstrated will do some or more of these 7 systems that I believe are required for every single accounting firm to run smoothly. And some products and solutions will do it better than others. Some will have a solution for it. Others won't have a solution for it. And this is where obviously the holes arise, because there is, I guess I'm saying it very openly, as an accounting firm owner now, with my accounting firm owner hat on, that there is no one perfect solution out there for you, because every firm is unique, as I believe Imana mentioned as well in his 8-minute session. But clearly it's about, we need a system to run efficiently. And the only other alternative of not getting a bespoke accountancy practice management solution is to try and build it yourself, which clearly isn't always feasible. So in terms of these 7 core systems that I believe are required, the first and foremost, the obvious one that I am sure, I know all of you have demonstrated, is the workflow. That is the key. We are a production line when it comes to an accounting firm. We have work that comes in, it goes through various stages, and then it goes out to the client. So that is obviously very important, the workflow side of things, to make sure there's deadline management. We know what stage jobs are at. We know what jobs we have to do. And there is that assignment between who is doing what. That's the workflow side. So, and then it comes to another area, I'm just choosing randomly here, document management. So that's another area of practice management we need to deal with. We have a lot of documents coming in. Where do we store all these things? Now, clearly, in this day and age, I'm sure if you're on this session, you are paperless. If not, then I hope you will be paperless before long. Clearly now, a lot of the stuff we do is online. There is no real requirement to keep paper anymore. We went paperless, I believe, in 2011, 10 years ago. So if you're not already paperless, you kind of need to be paperless. And therefore, we need a solution. We need a document management solution. There are specific document management solutions out there, the likes of Virtual Cabinet, DocuSoft, etc. And by the same token, there are some of the providers that you saw here showed you that there is a document management solution within their product. So all the emails that you get, all the letters, if you still write letters, PDFs, etc., that you generate can be stored within that same place, within that same solution where everything else is. So all client data is kept in one place. The other one is people and communication. So you want to have a portal which centralizes that communication. Like we saw, it's not ideal if you're in a firm with many people just to have all the data or all the communication with individual clients on people's own desktops or inboxes. The more centralized that is, the easier it is for work to happen seamlessly, for everyone to be aware of what's going on the client. So people and communication. CRM is another aspect of a practice management solution. where do we hold our core client data? We need a place to store those emails, those addresses, those birthdays, that and that sort of thing. CRM and all the to make sure we have that one source of truth. We don't want to have to keep repeating information from one system to another. Marketing is another one. Prospecting. We saw some examples of the fact that you can store, again, treating it like a CRM, store prospect data and then move that prospect from prospect to client as and when they become so, thereby having that one source of truth. Risk and compliance, we touched on engagement letters. That is a fundamental component and system that we require within our firms to make sure we are managing risk and compliance. And then pricing and proposal, another big area in terms of how we manage scope, extra work orders, renewals, invoicing integration, collecting of fees, and that sort of thing. So those are kind of the quick overview of 7 core systems I believe every efficient firm should have. The solutions that you saw today, they did some of that, some more than others. I would now, I'm going to go around the room and you have a minute to answer this question. And that question is that how long does it take to implement your solution? Because that is one of the big areas of friction to move from one provider to the other. So how long does a typical implementation take? Save 50 to 100 clients plus. And what is the one thing that your clients or your customers say that your product does really well, better than others that they have perhaps experienced? And if you have time, you can touch upon any of those 7 core systems that I've put up on the screen to comment on which aspects you do really well, which aspects perhaps you have and don't have. So I'll give you a minute and I will fire the first question. Will go around the room again, same order. So John and Rachel, over to you.
Thanks, Reza. Rachel, I'll let you pick up the one about how long it takes to get started on AM. But in regards to what is it that I suppose our users say about us, I think it's all about the journey. I think it's about the way we integrate users within our development process. We never say the project's completed, the project's always in development, and we're always taking on board user feedback in order to be able to develop additional functionality for users. I suppose it goes back, it's the ultimate ethos of Accountancy Manager. AM was built by an accountant who working in practice with a software developer, working alongside him, showing him the inefficiencies of the way practice management was run. And then these days that same ethos is very much still apparent. It's just that these days, rather than having one accountant and one developer, we have obviously thousands of accountants and a whole team of developers. So I think, that's what our users really love is that they feel like their voice is being listened to. We're obviously completely independently owned and we're in control of our own destiny, so that we can take the product where it needs to go. We definitely lean on our users for that. Rachel, do you want to jump in about how long it takes to get started?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take too long to get started at all. You can import your clients into Accountancy Manager. So if you're working off a spreadsheet right now, or you have another program that you can export the data from, your account manager will pick that up with you and we'll work out the best way to get that data into the system. So like I said, depending on where your data is right now, it could be minutes to hours. We also provide a free checking service for importing your clients too. And that's just all included with us.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, John and Rachel, for that. Okay, so same question to you, Imana.
So look, I mean, everybody's going to give you the same answer here, right? Everybody on this this panel, we go hell for leather to help people import their data and set their workflow up, right? So I'm not going to comment on that at all. But what I am going to say is, I think one thing that the AM guys said is really important. It's about the journey, right? So what we do in addition to, kind of standard importing is we run what we call a success program. And that is a series of 4 30-minute coaching mentoring calls, which is focused on a very simple question. How do you want to run your business? I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Tell me how you want to do it. Tell me what matters to you. Tell me how you want to run your team, your organization, how you want to manage your workflow. And that's the piece which creates real value for our customers. And actually, when they join, they just end up staying for that. I think the other part of your question, which was, what do customers really say about Onco? I got to be honest, it's really interesting, and I dare say it's true for everybody else on this call, for the people who are attending. Most people come to this software, this problem, with a business outcome, right? bit like your 7 core systems of an efficient firm. That's not what they achieve. It's a personal outcome. The most common thing that my customers say when they talk about Onco is stress relief. I can have a glass of wine in the evening. You know, I have a customer who said actually that I check the door 20 times when I leave the office every day, but now I don't, you know, because I'm kind of okay. So to me, it's really about that. You know, how do you want to run your business? What's your work-life balance? What's your personal outcome? That's what we work with you to deliver, and that is a journey. I hope that answers the question, Reza.
Thank you very much. And yeah, absolutely. That's the ultimate aim, isn't it? That's the reason why we invest in these solutions. It's because we want to reduce stress. We want to have comfort in a system that is doing the heavy lifting so we don't have to. We want to have a place to get things out of our head and into somewhere where we can trust that will flag up at the right time in the right place for us to take action when needed to do what we need to do for clients. Thank you. Brilliant, Amana. Celso, over to you, please.
Questions. So I'll start with the easy bit. What do customers say about Pixie? Things like Pixie is the first tab I open in the morning and the last tab I close in the evening. That should give you a pretty good idea of how fundamental Pixie is becoming to the practices that use it. Things like it's the best tool we've seen in years in practice management for someone who sees it all, like you're in Cloud 360. There are so many great features that reduce the number of apps I use. This is from one of our clients in America. Pixie made it easy to keep us organized with our work. Jane for me, it's ideal. So this is just a sample of what folks are saying about Pixie and how transformational Pixie is. I think that the thing to keep in mind is that we don't try to be the biggest tool that you're ever going to buy to your practice. What we try to do is being the stress relief. So if your hair is on fire right now, go into Pixie and you can start using it. That's definitely the best way to get started right away. Not with big, week-long sessions of setting up things and all of that. None of that matters. If you're feeling stressed right now, drop into Pixie and get started right away. You don't have to have much organization to make the most of our product, and you can move towards that ideal scenario of having all the automations and all of that. But none of that matters a month from now. What matters is the stress that you're having currently, and hopefully you'll be able to get that sorted in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Celso, for that and for sharing that with us. Okay. Lastly, it's Center. So is it Alice or Jasmine?
We'll both do these. With regards to how long it takes to set up, sort of going on 50 to 100 clients. Yes, we also have an import tool. So if you've got your client data and your contact data stored in a CSV file, or you've exported, say, from another piece of software, you can add that into Center's sample CSV file and import that into Center. So including kind of all of that and set up, of your email and sort of those basic features within Center, we're kind of sort of looking maybe around 3 hours, like on average probably. But then if you really wanted to get into the configuration side of things, setting up services from scratch and really just, going into all of that, then it's going to take a little bit more time because you're really, adapting to, the way you want it to work. So yes, I think so. And then what's most popular, I guess, among Center customers is the customization as well. Jasmine, I don't know whether you wanted to touch on any more of that.
Yes, I think that ties in nicely. I think what customers would say about us is that because it's so customizable, Center has enabled practices to grow, just because even though we all know everyone's got a handle on what's going on, we know accountants and bookkeepers are control freaks. You still want to see what's happening on a more granular level, and we've helped teams grow. We've had practices come to us when they're just setting up by themselves, and we had some really nice feedback from practices who've since grown their team as well as their revenue, all with Center being helped to automate all of their current processes. So yeah, I think the customization is probably our strongest feedback from our customers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Alice and Jasmine. Okay. Right. We're not far off from closing. There's a few more questions to answer, but I appreciate it's just gone past the hour mark. So I'm going to launch a final poll, which is which one of the providers that you have heard from today would you like to hear from? Your chance to to vote on the poll that you can see on the screen now. You can click more than one. You're not limited to a single choice. You can click more than one, and then the results will be shared with the various providers you have asked to hear from, and they can get in touch with you to arrange a longer demo. So if you have liked the sound of any of the ones that you have listened to today, then click the button and they will be in touch with you to arrange a demo. A couple more questions coming in. There is, I don't know whether AM have answered these in the chat box. I think you have. Can AM integrate with Practice Ignition? Yes, you've answered that. You're integrating with Zapier. And therefore, yeah, once you're in Zapier, then you can connect to many more softwares via that. Center, you've just answered that question. Thank you. Sue's asking the same question about letters of engagement to Center. Can you do letters of engagement in Center?
We do have a letter generator, so that uses those placeholders we saw in the email. So you can certainly use that because you could pull through fees and services. We also integrate with Go Proposal and Practice Ignition, so you have a couple of options.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you to those who have just voted. I will stop the share of results. Okay, any final questions coming in? I'm sure the panelists will be happy to answer. Great features from all, wondering about the price points, particularly for solo practitioners who don't benefit from economies of scale. Probably want, I'm sure you guys will have pricing on your website, and pricing can be discussed on a one-to-one level. So Nazir, feel free, I'm sure you have voted, so you can then, when you have your demo, I'm sure they can go through pricing with you. Okay, excellent. There are no more questions. So I'm happy everyone I'm happy for a quick roundup. So for any parting thoughts from you all on the panel, feel free. So this is your chance to leave some parting words for the audience. We'll go backwards this time just to change things up a bit. Center, go first, and then we'll go around the room and then we'll call it a day.
Wasn't expecting that. Been so used to the going alphabetically. I was like, oh, we've got a few more minutes. We can just stay here. So I guess parting words. It's been really interesting to obviously see some other demos today and being able to interact with lots of people who maybe aren't familiar with Center. So if anyone wants any more information, please do just reach out to us. Me and Alice and the rest of the support team are always on hand to help you, whether you want to have a demo or just sign up or just ask us any questions. Do feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much for that, Jasmine. Celso, you're next.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone, for your time. Thanks again for the voting as well. It's always good for the ego. That said, I do, again, encourage everyone to give Pixie a try. It's a 30-day free trial. Flat price. I've seen some questions about pricing as well. So if you're a sole practitioner, we're more than happy to support you during your first year of business with a special discount and a special offer for sole practitioners. Everyone else, full price, but it's a flat price per firm, not per seat. So I definitely encourage you to have a look and see how you get on with the product. Thank you.
Thank you, Celso. And yeah, it's a free form. So you used your pitch wisely to get that marketing piece in there. Fantastic. Well done, Celso. Imana from Onco.
Great to be here. Enjoyed doing the demo. Really enjoyed listening to the other panelists as well. There was a lot of stuff that actually made me smile because I think everybody's kind of on the right sort of journey. I think the only thing I'd say for the audience is the following. Look, as accountants, one of the privileges that we have is that once a person walks in through the door, that client could be with you for a long time, right? We have a client in our practice who joined us in 1968. I'm not that old, but joined in 1968 and is still with us. Businesses move generations, it's still with us. Why is that? It's because of client experience, and it's about meeting client expectations and delivering exceptional service. The reason why I'm telling you this, that's what guides stuff at Onco. When I talk about workflow, don't talk about efficiency, don't talk about productivity and all of those things. And I had a bone to pick with Reza on his diagram, but that's for another day. It is about delivering great experience. Keep the clients that you have. That is cheaper than finding new ones. That's my thoughts.
Absolutely. Well said. I've got a video coming out tomorrow on that topic. I'll tag you in. Lifetime value. It's all about lifetime value. Often we forget We try and make a profit on every job and every transaction. Accountants, remember lifetime value. As Amano rightly said, your clients can be with you for 20, 30, 40 years. Do not charge them for every single phone call or email, because you won't be that. You're not the trusted advisor if you are doing that. You want them to be able to call you in their time of need. When they have a problem, you want them to come to you. So enough said. Watch my video tomorrow on lifetime value. And last but not least, John and Rachel from Accountancy Manager. Parting words.
I just wanted to say I thought it was really positive to see so many people turn out today, interested in having a look at practice management solutions. I think, obviously we all on the panel will talk about the benefits of practice management, how this is the future of the way we work. I wouldn't say it's the future, I say this is the modern day way to run your accountancy practice. And as I said earlier, it really is the foundation of your practice that's going to enable future growth. It's going to eliminate time out of your day in regards to admin. And so do have a look into the solutions, obviously, that we've discussed today, and have a look at some of the case studies that in particular AM's published on our website. It really demonstrates how other practitioners are using the software every day to obviously improve their business and ultimately give themselves more time.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much to you panelists for coming on board today. Really appreciate you being here and sharing your products with the audience. Thank you to you for attending. I hope you found that useful, and I hope it was a useful hour of your time to get a quick overview of the big four providers in this space. And if you want to find out more, you know where they are. And if you voted on the poll, they will be in touch with you. Otherwise, I hope that's it. It was useful, and there will be a survey afterwards, so feel free to put your comments in there in terms of what else you want to hear from me. I would be happy to look into that and put that on to you to help you with solving your problems and getting you to where you want to go. So thank you, audience. Thank you, panelists. Until the next time, take care and bye for now.
Cheers. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks so much.